Hello, everybody. MegaZardX here, back at it again to give y'all another very exciting video. And yes, we're just right off the heels of the latest Xbox showcase event that they managed to do on Sunday. And man, oh man, this is probably the best showcase that Xbox probably could have had delivered in quite some time though, because I always felt like in previous years it was always Nintendo or Sony walking away with one of their presentations and managed to have a really long lasting impression, like, oh yeah, there's a whole bunch of games stacked up for this year and beyond, and you're just really looking forward to those ones though. But Xbox, I give them a little bit of credit. This show was not nearly as bad as like the state of play that we managed to get, within like that last week of May, and definitely way better than the Summer Game Fest presentation right there, though. So I'm just gonna go through and cherry pick like I did with Summer Game Fest. Just go through a handful of games and stuff that kind of piqued my curiosity, and just give my overall takes of what I thought of the whole entire presentation as a whole, though. So if you hadn't already done so, make sure you're going to hit that like button, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and that bell to stay up to date on all things video game related I feel like talking about and discussing. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump straight up into this video. All right, so to kick things off, we started off the presentation with the latest Call of Duty game, Black Ops 6. I like how originally when they were, announcing that their presentation is coming, in the month of June, they said, "Hey, we got the traditional Xbox showcase and redacted." And then it was like a handful of weeks later, then it's like, "Oh, this is Call of Duty Black Ops and stuff though." So obviously, we know how much of a juggernaut the Call of Duty series is, especially within, with the Black Ops series in general though. And this, at least for the story campaign of this, it's set to be sometime after the Cold War. So they kind of gave us like an extensive, really good trailer look at the very beginning of the showcase. But then they reminded us towards the end of it, it was like, hey, there is going to be a 25-minute hands-on deep dive on this latest entry for the Call of Duty franchise that's going to be concluding the Xbox showcase, though. So, right off the bat, Xbox kind of firing on all cylinders. Yes, they're going to take advantage of them acquiring Activision Blizzard, so why not lead the presentation with one of those big, major, juggernauts and stuff that happen to, top the charts around every holiday season now. So yeah, so not a bad start, Xbox, not a bad start. Then you roll over to Doom, The Dark Ages, which, this was like heavily rumored upon leading up to the showcase. And I was like, yes, like this is one of those, series I would say from the Xbox now, I guess now because they're, they own Bethesda now, because it's just crazy to think how they used to not be like this. It used to be third party though. But anyway, this is one of those games I care about so much from Bethesda. Like I like Doom 1, Doom 2, Doom 3, Doom 64. I had the 2016 version and I have Doom Eternal though. So yeah, I really like the Doom series. I don't mess around with a lot of shooters, but Doom just happens to do it for me though. So whenever they announce this and yes, it's going to be like in a dark age and stuff, I was like, oh yes, like the medieval times. Like I was wondering how they were going to actually approach this though, but you have your traditional guns and stuff, and then you have like a shield where you're actually able to like block or parry different attacks and stuff, and then being able to throw it and treat it like a mini chainsaw. Just like throwing it has like razor sharp blades up on it though. So I was like, gosh dang though. But yeah, it looks sick, it looks really incredible and stuff, but this is one of those few games where we managed to get a window time frame of when we can actually expect to see the game release, assuming there ain't gonna be no delays though. But if you notice more and more of these titles as we go further on in the showcase, a lot of stuff didn't necessarily have a bunch of dates, but I'll talk about that here a little bit later though. All right, next up, we managed to get Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta. Now, I'm really looking forward to this one, though. I really wanted to get myself within the Metal Gear series, though. I managed to pick up that Master Collection that has like a whole bunch of the past games and stuff. But looking at this remake, it definitely gives off the vibes of, Metal Gear Solid. It was one of the few third-party games I think that showed up in this, showcase where I was like, okay, this actually looks kind of cool, though, because I was noticing, I was like, there wasn't a lot of third-party games, but at least the ones that did show up, they look pretty interesting though. So yeah, I'm a big fan of this one. It looks great to finally get some solid gameplay on this instead of just only CGI trailers and stuff like that. So really good. No date for it yet. Kind of bothered me. No date for it yet. We thought it might be coming out this year, but who's to say now? Next up, we managed to get a look at Perfect Dark. We already knew that this was in active development for the longest time, and we really had no really good solid looks at it though. But now we finally managed to get a little bit of gameplay, a little bit of action. Obviously, had a little bit of CGI up in it though. It definitely doesn't give off the feel of, the classic Perfect Dark that we kind of known and love within like the Nintendo 64 era. That is kind of very similar or like an offshoot of like GoldenEye essentially back in that era though. But it's been so many years since we had some of those releases within the N64 and the earlier games that happened to drop out on the Xbox. So it's like it's been quite a bit of time, so they can kind of have a new identity with this Perfect Dark, which is kind of what I'm seeing right here though. So honestly, this one did kind of pique my curiosity just a little bit though. I'm definitely gonna keep an active eye on it though, because this might be one of the games I might happen to pick up though. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing more information on this game though. But like a lot of other stuff, no release date, no release window. So I don't know, take it as you will. Then we managed to get another look at Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Remind you, we did manage to get a look at this at the last Xbox presentation they managed to do a few months ago. And you know what? It definitely has that really strong Indiana Jones vibe and stuff like that in terms of just the dialogue and what we managed to get to see in the cutscenes and stuff like that, though. I mean, yes, the Indiana Jones flavor is distinct, at least what I've been seeing up in this gameplay thus far, though. Albeit in terms of this trailer, it was like a huge cinematic thing. I felt like it went on a little too long than what it really needed to be, though. But I digress, though. Outside of that, we did manage to get a little bit of few snippets of gameplay sprinkled up in there towards the very end of the trailer, though. But overall, the game is looking great. However, we know it's coming out in 2024. They still reiterated on that at the end of the trailer, though. However, we don't have no window frame. Like, it doesn't say no fall, doesn't say no winter. We don't have a month or a day. It still just says 2024. So I'm like, come on, Xbox, we can do better than this. Next up, we managed to get another look at Assassin's Creed Shadows. Now, we do know the release date for this one, thankfully, November 15th, though. But at least when I was watching this trailer, though, we knew that Ubisoft was going to be dropping out another Assassin's Creed game. However, I give them a lot of credit with this one, though. This does not look like you're saying cookie cutter Assassin's Creed as all the past ones does. Like, I know obviously like the first few iterations of the series were really great and stuff. I know my cousin used to have Assassin's Creed. I used to play Assassin's Creed with him on his Xbox console back in the day though, so I'm familiar with the series though. However, everything since then kind of seemed the same. I didn't see like any strong incentive to actually jump up in it and play it though. But with this one being set within the Japan era and stuff like that, I just love that era, and I love that style of gameplay. Like, I love games that are kind of centered around Japan and stuff like that. It feels a little bit, different from the traditional Western kind of scenes that you might see in a lot of different games made by Western studios, obviously, though. So, all those thoughts aside, I'm really looking forward to Assassin's Creed Shadows whenever that drops out on November 15th. All right, so with all of those announcements said, we got close to the very tail ending of the show, and obviously everybody and their mama was thinking we might get an announcement of some new hardware, and that did happen to be the case because because one of them managed to come out on the stage and say, yes, we're gonna release the Xbox Series X digital version. And I was like, what the heck? And it's not even just that. We did manage to get like a little bit of a press release after the presentation, and they did manage to give us like some brand new pricing tiers in terms of like everything that you can kind of expect Xbox to do. So the pricing is as following. So the Xbox Series X in white, so that's the all digital version, is going to be about $450. And the Xbox Series S in white, which is going to be a 1 terabyte storage, is going to be $350. And then the Xbox Series X, which is a 2 terabyte Galaxy Black, which is going to be like a limited edition. They got like limited quantities according to this little graphic I'm looking at. It says it's going to be about $600 though. So it's just kind of crazy to see how, I guess, across the board stuff is getting a little bit more expensive. That Xbox Series X all digital, which is going to be like your equivalent of your digital PS5, they're both, priced around $450. So that's, roughly about all the same though. The fact they're charging an extra $100 or $600 for a 2 terabyte thing, I don't know. I guess the storage for the Xbox Series consoles is already pretty expensive. So if you think about it from that angle, yeah, that could be actually pretty good though. But I don't know though. But yeah, they just managed to get out just a little bit of updates and stuff in terms of their hardware up in this presentation. A lot of people wanted to see that handheld Xbox thing though, but that might be, way later if that happens to be an actual thing though. Now, to conclude the whole entire presentation, they ended the show off with Gears of War E-Day. Now, a lot of Gears of War fans out there, yes, you might be rejoicing right now, like, yes, we finally managed to get this game out there, though. However, I guess within the reveal of this thing, like most other games they showcase off in the showcase, there was no release window, no release date. At least for an announcement like this, I wasn't expecting like a day and date, like here's the month, here's the day, here's the year. I was expecting at least 2025 on the extremist side, maybe 2026. I hate it when gaming companies actually throw out a date and it's 2 years from the time that they originally announced it, though. Like, I want to see stuff that happens within 12 months, a solid year. If it's more than that, just don't announce it, though. But I guess this is kind of, rest assured, kind of, reassure the fans that say, yes, we do have all these great first party games coming out here soon, though. So there's no need to fret. Stay involved within our ecosystem, buy Game Pass and all of this stuff, and everything's going to be a jolly old good time, though. So that's basically all the major announcements that I was personally really looking forward to that they managed to reveal during this show. So overall, this wasn't a really bad presentation. Now, I just talked about the handful of stuff that I was personally interested in. However, there was a ton of first-party games up in here. Ones I had to even mention, such as like State of Decay 3. Obviously, you had new updates for Starfield. Fallout 76 is getting some new stuff. Sea of Thieves always getting some new updates as well. Diablo 4 is getting the Vessel of the Hatred. Obviously, they showed another good look at Fable. And then along with a few other things I might not necessarily took notes upon, though. But regardless, though, there was a lot of great first-party games that managed to showcase up in this presentation, though. Way more first party than I honestly thought they were even going to be able to produce. But if you think about Xbox and how they acquire Bethesda and all of its studios, and then Activision Blizzard with all of their studios, it was only a matter of time before the snowball would start to actually get churning down that hill. And now we're starting to see a lot of the fruits from their labor, though. So now it's within the realm of possibility they can easily put out at least 4 solid big major AAA titles per year. We're starting to almost get the fruits of its labor, though. It's been a while to kind of warm up to that idea, though, but I think within this showcase, I think this is a really strong telltale sign for this, though. So hopefully this will actually light a little bit of a fire underneath, PlayStation's butt just a little bit, though. I mean, because it's kind of dry on their side of the spectrum as well, though. But overall, not a very bad show from Xbox, though. If I were to give it a letter grade, I would roughly give it about, say, a B minus. I mean, because I think I gave the PlayStation a C plus, and that was heavily drawn upon Monster Hunter Wilds and stuff, as well as Astro Bot. I'm really looking forward to that title, though. But overall, as a whole entire show, and what they had in terms of announcements, I say B minus. It could have gotten like a solid B, maybe a B plus, if we had more dates. I think the dates and them not actually giving out window frames at a bare minimum, I think was the one thing that was holding off this showcase in terms of it being like a really great one. But I think for most Xbox fans in general, I think this is just going to be one that a lot of people are going to remember, though. So hopefully they turn out with all of these different titles. They're not, weird and stuff in terms of like the reviews or the way they handle stuff, or if it's like always online for a single player campaign or something like that, though. So, I mean, all those thoughts aside, though, very good show, Phil Spencer. Pretty good. I'll give you the W on this one, at least for now, though. But yeah, that's basically going to be all of my thoughts in terms of this Xbox showcase that they managed to deliver within this season of summer gaming. So if you really like this video, make sure to go and hit that like button. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button and that bell. Let me know down in the comment section down below if you really like this presentation and everything that Xbox managed to reveal up in here, though. Me personally, really looking forward to that Indiana Jones and Perfect Dark, as well as Doom the Dark Ages, though. But that's going to do it, though. So remember, y'all, until our video I make next, see y'all.